If I could have everyone's attention, please, we'll get this ball rolling. Just for, there might be one or two people in the room that would enjoy this, but just before we get the train rolling along, por favor manténgase alejado de las puertas, which is what is said on the monorail. So we're ready to go. All right. I hope everyone had hopefully everyone enjoyed the meal and enjoyed some discussion and discussed memories and had made a few new memories. I wanted to get started, and I had a couple of two relatively quick ones. One was my first Chicago pipe show. First Chicago pipe show was at Indian Lakes in 2001. It was a geodesic dome that was round and connected to another round one, and everything was round and everything was round. But in the middle of it, and I got there on Friday morning, in the middle of it was a waterfall that led into a pool, and underneath the waterfall was a bar. The night before had been a little rough, so the bar opened at 11. I was there at 10:55 looking for something to help with last night. Bar wasn't going to be open yet, but I turn around and there's a very nice British gentleman who comes up to me and says, "Oh, is the bar open yet?" And I said, "No, we're waiting. It has to be at 11." He says, "Oh, very good, very good." And I introduced myself, and it was, and then he said, "Oh, I'm Bill Taylor." So here I am in a bar under a waterfall in the middle of a geodesic dome, opening the bar with Bill Taylor, and then I got a cup of coffee and a shot of tequila, and he was very impressed with that. That some American guy was drinking coffee and tequila first thing in the morning. The other one was I exhibited my Disney pipe collection, and I had the collection out, and people were looking at it and poring over it. And a certain Mike Reschke came up to me all excited. I mean, just bouncing like, he looked like Tigger, just bouncing up and down, going, look, I want to show you something. Come here. Okay. He had identified that two of the pipes were actually made in the Parker factory during the time that Parker owned it, before Dunhill owned it, and he was so excited about that. And then it makes me smile because on my Doctor of Pipes certificate, it's got Mike Reschke, president. Anyway, so those are some of my favorite memories. One of my other favorite memories, of course, is with my friend, the pipe stud, Steve Fallon, who I couldn't do this without and won't do it without. So, Steve, we're all going to sit here and stare at you until you come up here and help me with the rest of the program. So, Steve Fallon, Doctor of Pipes. Wearer of a hat, not a 10-gallon hat. He's on a discount. It's only 3 gallons. He's a little low. He's a half tank. Steve, what did you have a favorite Chicago pipe show memory of the past?
Sure do. Yes, sir.
Are you shy at a microphone?
No.
All right. Well, go ahead. We got the room till 11:30. Thank you.
Yeah. Just about 7 years ago, I came to one and Levine wasn't there. That was my favorite one.
I was back in Waco with your wife hanging out.
We're going to have to stop right there because that's probably true. Okay, that's my goodies.
That's your goodies?
Yes,
all right.
Sir.
In that case, what we would like to do is, if there is anybody in the audience that would like to share their memory with the rest of the group, raise your hands. We'll come to you. We'll do 4 or 5 or 6. Steve, you got that side of the room?
Okay.
So they'll probably like you more than this side of the room. Anybody, raise your hands. Feel free. Vera, raise your hand. Feel free to share any memories that you might have that you want to share of past Chicago pipe shows. Maybe a very romantic picture of me and your husband kissing in the hotel room. No, that was in the Smoking Pipes hotel room. Yeah. All right, so I guess no one wants to share. Oh, yes, ma'am. Here we go.
Okay, the year after my husband died, I made very good friends with this guy right here. We went through all the pipes. We priced them, checked them out, this blah, 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 blah. Brought them to the show the next May. And the people were so nice. These people love you. They made my day.
And you don't smoke at all. You just still come back and hang out with us ugly people. You just come back and hang out with us ugly people.
I will, as long as I...
She comes to every meeting.
Anybody else, just raise a hand if you want to. No?
No, we got some people over here that want to share thoughts.
All right. Well, we'll go to Steve in the far corner there.
Big name people too. We have Dr. Fred Berger, who we're going to talk to. You better think. And of course, Rick Newcomb, who has many fond memories of the Chicago show past. So lay one on us.
One of my favorite memories was when we were in Harvey at the Chicago High Show, and we went out to a restaurant, a steakhouse called Gino's. It was really good. And there was a big group of old-time collectors, Basil Sullivan, the Cheriton collector, Rich Esserman, Ed Lehman, and I had invited Bonnie and Yes Konowitz to come, and this was their first American pipe show. And we ordered steaks at Gino's Steakhouse. And there's a fellow, Lane Tannen, some of you may have known him. I think he was a sheriff in Texas. And Lane ordered a 48-ounce steak. Now, Yes and Bonnie were kind of petite, and Bonnie especially, I doubt if she weighed 95 pounds. And she was sitting next to Lane, and they bring this 48-ounce steak, and she just simply couldn't believe it. And Lane said, "Oh, in Texas, this is a kid's portion." But anyway, we have so many good memories. And,
Thank you, Rick. And here's Dr. Fred Berger, who's been to just about every Chicago show there ever was. So I know you have something to tell us.
No particular incident, but coming to the show, so much of it is bonding again with friends, and that's the biggest part of the show, and the reason I really love coming is to get back and see people that we haven't seen for a year, and some have passed, but it's the friendships and the camaraderie that really make it for me.
Okay, who here is brave enough, who has never been to a Chicago show before, who is here?
Steve, back left. Turn to your left.
I already found her.
Okay.
That's great. I was looking for you, Manuela, earlier. This lady has a sense of humor, and she can also make a pipe. Talk to us, Manuela.
I also have very many good stories from the Chicago Pipe Show, and at the others, when we went and was on first run, I always go for to have my same room number out in the gold wing, 31, 39. Boom. And it was good because when we be at the tent, and sometimes a little bit drunk, but I could smell my way home because you go through the pool and now I'm soon home, and then I start, okay, now I'm nearly home because I could hear Coffee Davis room. And it's such good memory.
Well, you were also pretty tough in the slow smoke contest back then too, weren't you?
Yeah.
And I need to explain to us, for those of you that didn't understand, yow means hell yeah.
All right, I'll go back to Andre back here in the back, and give Steve a break because Steve's arm is used to packing boxes, not used to holding it up in the air anymore.
You're so funny.
Here we go, Andre.
Well, I have two things that I'd like to share, and of course, one is the UPA Slow Smoke Contest, which I ran for a few years, and one is seeing people that I genuinely care about, and in some cases love, become master and doctors of pipes at this dinner. Which, just seeing people that care about our hobby and the industry working to make it better and being celebrated here.
Thank you very much. Any last call before I embarrass myself with one more? I know Steve's looking forward to this one. Ryota, stand up for me. I want to tell go ahead, stand up. Go ahead, stand up. Ryota was very nice. Ryota was very nice to help me in 2016 when Sato and his wife and friends were here. And I am the dumbest American on the face of the planet, because what did I do? I took 5 people that live in Tokyo. 5 people that live in Tokyo. I took them to a sushi restaurant in St. Charles, Illinois. I did it. It was fantastic. It's a memory that will last a lifetime. And on top of that, I learned how to eat edamame just like lightning fast. We Americans were doing it all wrong. It's the stupid way. And the minute I saw them do it, it was like boom, boom, holy, wow. So anyway, thank you. You talked them into it for me. All right, now on to, let's see, what does it say? Yeah, Steve Fallon. Okay. Last year we went through the list of all the people. What I want right now is, if you are a current master of pipes, please stand and receive a round of applause from the rest of the group. So, masters of pipes, current, stand up. Yes, young people.
Come on, masters.
Wave, John David, wave. There he is. All right, young people, have a seat. If you are a current doctor of pipes and you're able to stand, please stand up and receive the appreciation from everyone here in the crowd. Go ahead, if you're a current doctor of pipes, stand up.
Hey, by the way, I was really excited. I couldn't believe he did, but Dr. Fred Hanna actually made it to the top. He stood up.
Here, wait, let me help you back down. Don't want you to miss that seat. There you go. All right, and now to get to the serious part of the program, I'd like to introduce to you 2 people that are very important. First one is young and spry and able, Dave Shane, who is the Grand Director of the Master of Pipes program. Welcome, come on up, assume the position. Take your spot back there, thank you. And then our governor of the Doctors of Pipes, and the one that emails us and annoys us and then yells at us in all caps, Linwood Hines. Thank you. Thank you. I know your cap locks is stuck, right? All right, Steve, you got your paperwork?
Yes, sir.
Do you know where it is?
No.
Okay. I had to warn Steve earlier.
I found it, Brian. I found it.
I had to warn him. I wrote this in standard English, not Texan. Linwood, at this point, we would like for you to say hello and talk for as long as you would like about the programs.
Oh, okay. Hold the microphone. Hold the microphone. And 2 things at once. Okay, first of all, 30 years. Come on. Let me hear a hand. Woo! 30 years. Well, let's see. There are these two people and a bunch of other people. There we go. I'm trying to see and recognize. This has been awesome. I mean, bloody awesome. This show surpassed anything I've ever seen. And I put on shows for 40 years, okay? I think you all deserve a very big round of applause, okay? So, considering it's 30 years, so back in 1996, if we did the math, you know, you have this fledgling bunch of nuts, pipe nuts, enthusiasts, and experts. Okay? You can't hear? Okay.
See, you're acting like you're Italian, but moving your hand over.
No, I'm not doing that. Okay.
See what happens? See what happens when you have to work with old people?
So there goes my half a minute speech.
Not you, Bob.
Okay, so if you think about that, and 2 years later, they found out how much work it is and how much dedication and enthusiasm and knowledge from back then. You all mentioned Frank Burla, a few others. It was just unreal back then how much knowledge they had about pipes, and you would never have thought of any of that. But anyway, so 2 years later, the club, which is really smart cookies, decided to come up with awards for, first of all, some of their club members that were doing so much work for this show. And then somebody else out there in the world, for example, in the industry. We call it the trade in the Doctor of Pipes program, and started recognizing these people. So it started in 1998. You know, you can do the math. I'm going to only mention a couple of them. The first being Tom Dunn, and most of you all won't know who he is. I'm not going to explain it, but he was the communicator, the influencer, the unselfish one in the world about pipes and communications and pipes. I'll only do that. And then Frank Burla, which we all know and love. Basil Sullivan, whom, again, I was mentioning the information and friendship, and an influencer beyond deals was Barry Levin. Some of you all know him. So some of these names don't make sense to you all, but they were tremendous influences and spots in the industry and in the clubs, etc. And then our good old brother Ed Lehman and Chuck Levy. So I'll stop there. So again, thank you, Chicagoland pipe collectors. There's more than just the front table out here. I know it was a tremendous effort, but here we go, and another Doctor of Pipes that the club is putting forth. So thank you. That's about it.
Thank you, Linwood. I want you to know his speech was written in all caps. Shift key's broken, right? Yeah. All right, so we'll begin with the first. We'll go with the doctors first, then we'll go to the masters. The first on the trade side for this year, for 2026. The nomination of Phil Morgan for Doctor of Pipes seems to be self-obvious. I'm reading the nomination letter. As I believe there are more cob pipe owners than there are any naysayers about the type. When Phil took over Missouri Meerschaum, which is the oldest pipe making company in the United States, one would have thought that he was taking the helm of a sinking ship. Corncobs float. Who smokes pipes and even corncob pipes. Phil took what was a historic relic and brought it into the modern era. Phil Morgan took a struggling pipe company and put it on a strong footing that could weather the changing times. Phil built the Missouri Meerschaum line from a handful of designs and added an entire new tier of shapes, models, and marketed them to the world. Phil has significantly contributed to the pipe industry and pipe smokers and the culture of pipe smoking. His efforts have maintained an original American icon and ensured that it shall live on so that those new to the hobby may know the joys and pleasures of the most humble and useful corncob pipe. Ladies and gentlemen, the king of corn, Phil Morgan. If any of you are confused, it is not Dick Clark. It is actually Phil Morgan.
Let's go over there.
Yeah, go that way. There you are. Congratulations. From your viewers.
Oh, thank you very much. First of all, I'd just like to thank the Doctor of Pipes. You know, this was, for even considering me. I'm never, me or Missouri Meerschaum Company, I never expected it. I was surprised and I'm truly humbled, you know, to have received it. And please bear with me, I just got some comments here and I wrote them all down because the one thing I'm finding out as I grow older, it's much better to write things down, you know, than it is to try to commit them to memory. So I don't mean to read it, but some of it I'll have to glance to. And first of all, the contribution of Missouri Meerschaum Company to the pipe community long predates me. I mean, it started basically, and a lot of you know this, but it started in 1869. Henry Tibby, a Dutch immigrant, made the first commercial corncob pipe. And he basically started an industry that included at least 12 corncob pipe manufacturers just in Washington, Missouri. And there were others around in the area. And at one point in time, Missouri Meerschaum Company shipped 15 million pipes in a year. It's much less than that now, but we were the first and we are the last. And even though we're a small company, we ship pipes all over the world. Most recently, we're shipping a lot of pipes into China. Now, my involvement in Missouri Meerschaum really started on a whim. My wife and I were retired early, modestly, and one evening I was sitting at home reading the paper, and I said, "Pat, you won't believe it, there's an ad in the paper for the general manager of a corncob pipe company. How often are you going to get a chance to manage a corncob pipe company, and how hard can it be?" And so I quickly found out the answer to that question, as Brian just read, that Missouri Meerschaum Company at that time was in somewhat of a precarious financial position, and I knew nothing about growing, or very little about growing corn. With my background as a CPA, I could handle the financial part. But the corn was a different matter. But we were, especially since the hybrid, as some of you know, we have to grow our own corn. It's a hybrid just to make our pipes. And the composition of that hybrid had been compromised and had been lost. Luckily, we have a seed company in Iowa that takes care of that for us. They got the genetics back. And we have local farmers who do the cultivating and the planting. We do the harvesting. But the planting and harvesting seasons are really exciting for us. Right now, this time of year, we're actually waiting to plant because it's been cool and a lot of rain, and our corn does not like the cold, wet ground, so we're still waiting to plant. But we're still in good shape with that. But a big part of improving our financial position was improving sales and the product mix, which Brian also mentioned. And my wife Pat and I started attending trade shows, and the first one we went to was IPCPR in New Orleans. And several people came by, and maybe even some of the people in this room came by and said, "I didn't even know you were still in business." So we knew at that point, okay, we got to do some work here and get our name back out there. And one of the tactics that my wife Pat used is she would stand in the middle of the aisle with one of our little miniature corncob pipes, have a keychain on it and a business card, and tell people, "You cannot leave this trade show without one of these pipes." And it worked. And over time, our sales profitability improved. And now we are really lucky to have our daughter Shannon has taken over as general manager of the company. And I'm kind of semi-retired. I still go in a couple days a week for the financial side of it. But Shannon is really good in marketing and operations. She's better at marketing than I ever was. And she's really an aggressive operations manager too. I mean, she makes sure that our production department meets the sales goals almost every month. And in addition to that, she understands how important customer relations is. And just real quickly, one of the questions that I was asked, and this is a little bit of an aside, but one of the questions I was often asked when I there was, who really made the first corncob pipe? Well, even though we were the first to make them commercially, there's no doubt that farmers and outdoorsmen were making corncob pipes on their own. But however, I think that when you consider the indigenous people of the Americas, and North America, South America, Central America, the Caribbean islands, they were cultivating tobacco, and they were developing this small grass plant into what we now know as corn. So my belief is that they probably, some of the Native Americans were probably the first ones, you know, to make a corncob pipe. It makes sense. They were making pipes out of rock, out of clay. And so I think that was probably who made the first corncob pipe. And just, I don't mean to bore you, but these little memories are important to me. When I was a little kid, there was a field behind our house, and when the farmer would plow the field, we would, me and my buddies, and I'm talking when I was 9 or 10 years old, so we would go out there and look for arrowheads, and we'd find arrowheads out in the field. And the one time I went up the hill, and it was kicking around in the dirt, and I kicked up what looked like a little piece of clay or rock. Had no idea what it was, but I thought it was something. So I took it home, and my mom was hanging sheets on the line in the backyard to dry. And I said, "Hey, Mom, look what I found." And she said, "Yeah, you know, that looks like something." So as a typical kid, 9 or 10-year-old boy, I thought, man, this would be real cool to throw this thing up against the tree and watch it shatter into pieces. And right when I was rearing back to throw it, my mom said, "Wait a minute." And she looked at it again, and she says, "That's a pipe." And it was a clay pipe made by the Native Americans, and according to the research I've seen, it was probably made around 1000 AD. So, and I've still got it. Over 60 years later, I've still got it. And if anybody wants to see a picture of it, I can show it to you. There's a quote that I have on my wall in the office from an author named Seamus McGraw, and I just wanted to read it to you real quickly. It says, "The act of smoking a pipe is the act of tending something. The act of smoking a corncob pipe is the act of tending something that is of the land, tied to a set of values, of practices, a kind of thought process that's worth preserving." Well, we at Missouri Meerschaum Company believe it's worth preserving. Believe me, no one's getting rich selling corncob pipes. So it is definitely a dedication to the legacy of this truly original and authentic piece of Americana that's now been around for over 157 years, and that's what keeps Missouri Meerschaum Company going. Throughout our history, our mission has been and still is to produce a good smoking pipe that anyone can afford. And for me, it has been a thrill and an honor to play our little part in the ancient and venerable ritual of pipe smoking. And it's especially a great honor to be here with the giants of the industry, both the artisans and the tobacco blenders. And I'd like to dedicate this honor actually to the hardworking employees of Missouri Meerschaum Company who keep the legacy alive. And on behalf of everyone at Missouri Meerschaum Company, thank you for this honor.
Thank you very much, Phil. Many years of service. Speaking of many years of service, our next Doctor of Pipes had a long and successful career of service in the military for the United States, and he left as a captain. And that's one of the things I'm proud of about him, is the fact that he served our country and served it well. He has many special achievements in the pipe smoking world. He began smoking and collecting in the late 1960s, and he hasn't stopped. I think all of you who have been to any pipe shows anywhere around the country, I'm pretty sure you know who our next Doctor of Pipes is, because he's at every show. He has a huge collection of all kinds of pipes. He always helps when it comes to specific pipe shows. At the Las Vegas International Pipe Show, he not only helps with judging, he's building up criteria to help them with a better way of doing that. He's helped the Chicago International Pipe Show in many, many ways, always contributing to the pipe show for the raffles and things like that. He loves the Chicago Pipe Show, has been here for many years. He's been the conventioner coordinator of the ICCS, that's the International Sheraton Collectors Society, for many years. He coordinated all the meetings, display awards, etc. Took on the role from the original ICCS conventioners Bob Swanson and Dennis Congos, and has continued to help the Sheraton Club progress. There are so many other things I could tell you about Mark Berman, but aside from his credentials as a professional in the business world, a captain in the military service for us, all the things he does for the pipe smoking community, I'm most proud of the fact that he's a fellow Texan. Mark Berman, come on up. Mark, you've done it again. You broke another camera. Be gentle with us.
Thank you, Steve. Lenwood told me about the famous Burla rule, that doctors of pipes only had 60 seconds to accept their award, and he actually had a stopwatch, or
when I was given my award, yes.
I don't know that I'll meet that criterion. I want to congratulate Phil. Where is Phil?
Right. You're right. You're right.
I want to congratulate Phil.
Congratulations to you.
Really deserves it. And start by thanking the Chicago Pipe Collectors Club. I have been a member for a number of years, although I live 1,000-something miles south of here. And recognize, of course, Frank's groundworking effort to promote the club and the awards and the doctor's program. This seems like quite a long haul. Some of you have heard the story about my dad's advice to me. My dad was a lifelong cigar smoker. Smoked a cigar his entire life. Smoked Bearing Plazas, which might not mean anything to the young people, but it's an old-time cigar. And I was a little strange in that I actually didn't try to smoke cigarettes when I was in high school, as most kids tried to do. And it was when I was ready to go to college, my dad said to me, listen, I want to give you some advice. First of all, I know you're going to smoke, but I don't want you to smoke those blankety-blank cigarettes. If you're going to smoke a pipe or smoke a cigar. And I took that advice, and so to this date, I've never smoked a cigarette. Just smoke a pipe, or just smoke a cigar. Fred Hanna seemed surprised at that, but anyway. So that was my start. So I went through the typical basket pipes at shops in the late '60s, and Borkham Riff cherry tobacco. aromatic tutti frutti, as they call them, etc. Before I learned that there was such a thing as Virginia Periques and English blends, etc. And my first real, somehow, exposure to the wider world of pipe collecting and smoking was running across a copy of Tom Dunn's TPSC, the Pipe Smokers Ephemeris, which for those of you who have not seen any of those old issues, or it is pre-internet, and it was really the first way to see and understand the world, the wider world of the hobby. And that sort of the trigger that started my path into the world of pipe collecting and pipe smoking. Probably the first person that led to was Ben Rappaport, Doctor of Pipes, who many of you know, who he had a newsletter that came out periodically, the Antiquarian Tobacciana, selling books, and he then provided advice, and just sort of started the track. Now, one of the observation I have about our world of pipes, the pipe world, is that, and I'm about to use a word of the day, is that it's a truly egalitarian world. People of all backgrounds are in this room, are in the pipe shows. Doesn't make any difference if you have a PhD in nuclear physics, or if you push a cart every day loading trucks. When you all come together, that doesn't make any difference. This is not a class system. This is people who all appreciate pipes, and it's a hobby. And the thing I like about it is that there's an unwritten rule about no politics. Let's not discuss politics. That's sort of off the table. And I appreciate that, and we'll leave it at that. I want to thank some people very specifically, and I'm going to leave some people out, and I apologize for that. First person I'll thank is Ben Rappaport, because Ben's been very helpful, specifically in terms of leading me to other people, giving me advice. And for those of you who know Ben Rappaport, he does like to give advice. And the next person I'll thank is Linwood Hines. Linwood gave me about a 2-page description of how I should talk about him. But I'll suffice to say that he's a true gentleman. He is a true gentleman, and I appreciate Linwood's work and help, and a fellow veteran.
Yep.
He also served in the military. Next person, Steve Fallon, who, interestingly enough, although we're a fellow Texan, we actually didn't see each other in Texas until a few years ago at the Texas Pipe Show. We always met at Chicago or Las Vegas or Richmond, but we never met in Texas. But we did a few years ago finally meet in Texas. I want to thank Steve, and especially Steve was the individual who nominated me to be a Doctor of Pipes. So I appreciate that, my friend. I'm going to rattle off a series of names very quickly. And again, I'm going to leave names off, but people who I really have met and appreciate knowing as friends in the pipe community. Andy Cameri, who's sitting back here, Scott Thiele, Larry Lampner, Paul Bender, Dennis Congas, Joe Skoda, Gib Robinson, the late Bob Swanson, Dr. Bob Keese, all of those fellows for their friendship. Marty Pulvers, not only a pipe friend, but a gourmet food friend, as many of you know. Dave Peterson and Brian Levine, the new shepherds of the Las Vegas Pipe Show. And finally, in thanking I want to thank my wife of 43 years, Debbie, who passed away last year, and her tolerance of my pipe and tobacco obsessive compulsive disorder. And I miss her very much. Thank you.
I'm going to steal Steve's microphone and see if I talk like a Texan all of a sudden. Wow, all right. Now we'll move on to the Masters of Pipes for 2026. And the first one I get the pleasure of reading, and it's a rare chance that you get to talk about a lady in this group of men. Thankfully, we get to talk about a lady that I actually like, which means we're not married. Vera Florov has long been a member of the American pipe community. I didn't write this, so I don't know what's all in here, but it says, being the wife of one of America's premier pipe makers, Vera has had the opportunity to become to befriend people in the industry, the craft, and the consumer community. This befriending of people within our community would not qualify her for the award in of itself. It is the level to which Vera has taken this befriending that warrants acknowledgement. Few people have fostered connections across the globe quite like Vera. If Vera had remained in the background, her contributions would have been enough. Yet Vera is not prone to being passive. And as such, she decided to take her talents to the next level. In the past few years, Vera has joined the CPCC Board of Directors to help take our show, refine itself, and grow. Her talents for organization, communication, connection have added resolve to the board's decision to create a new level of transparency with our community. Isn't it time to recognize those in the background who are making an impact in our community? Then listed specific achievements here: contacted carvers from Europe and Asia, convincing them to come back to America post-COVID, has been creating connections in the world pipe community in an attempt to draw us closer. She's done this by getting pipe people to come to our shows in the States, and has gotten American carvers to go to shows in other countries. She's probably, I don't know, a big portion of the reason why Alex is so talented at what he does, because she wouldn't accept anything else except for the best. I added that. And has personally helped visitors coming to the U.S. shows by connecting them to visa and travel supports. Master of Pipes for 2026, Vera Florov.
One more time.
All right, I hope you guys can see me behind this tall podium. I wrote a speech. It was too long, so I shortened it. It's very emotional for me to accept this award. So I'm just gonna read. Good evening, everyone. Receiving the Master of Pipes Award is a tremendous honor, and one I accept with a deep gratitude and humbleness. To me, the Chicago Pipe Show was not just about pipes. It would always have to be with something much greater, the bond between people. It is a bond that is a unique aroma. The aroma has briar and tobacco, laughter, stories, and friendship. For me, it all began in the summer of 2004 when my father, a pipe smoker himself, challenged my husband, Alex, to try to make pipes. A simple dare, and a life path quietly began. A few months later, Alex joined the club, and we were introduced to the founding fathers of the Chicago Pipe Show. As we prepared for the first show in 2005, Rex Pogenpol coached me and Alex how to set up our table. Frank Burla, the founder of the show, taught us how to carry ourselves and how to be part of something much larger than we can ever imagine. Rex introduced us to many collectors, artisans, and legends in our community. True story. Shortly after we finished setting up for that first show, Frank introduced us to Honorees. After examining Alex's pipes, Bo asked for a piece of paper and a pen. He carefully sketched the engineering of the mouthpiece and a button, complete with the exact measurements. Imagine that moment, a master taking time to teach a beginner. That is the spirit of the show. Almost every pipe maker here, at one time or another, has helped guide a novice carver. If I ask anyone in this room to raise your hand if you have ever shared a tobacco with a newcomer in the show, I believe most hands would rise. That generosity and hospitality are now rare. That is one of the reasons why this gathering means so much to many people. We are an international community. Over the years, we have made friends from all over the globe at this show. Those friendships remain strong despite political and economical challenges around the globe. Today, in this hotel, we are represented by 18 countries. Our count for today's attendees, just today, we counted 985 attendees just today. The Chicago Pipe Show has shared its own challenges. From the venue changes to the closing during the COVID, one thing remains consistent: the bond between people. That bond is why we return. It is why friendship lasts decades. It is why the new people are welcome like old friends. It is why our community matters. So tonight, I accept this award not for myself alone, but in honor of everyone who has built this show, taught us, encouraged us, laughed with us, and shared their passion with us. I would like to sincerely thank the members of the Chicago Show Board for their dedication and countless hours behind the scenes. I would also like to offer my special thank you to Rex Pogenpol for his friendship. Your friendship, where are you? Your friendship and support when Alex and I were new to this community have meant so much to us. To all here tonight, I thank you, and my wish for all of you that our bonds of this community stay strong for the generations to come. Thank you.
One of the great reasons why the Chicago International Pipe Show is so successful is because, hey, it works too, is because he gives me a dead mic. Okay, I got it.
He's all talent.
Is because all of these men do exactly what Vera tells them to do, and they do it quickly. And if you don't, ooh, bad news. Congratulations, Vera. All right, next up, Master of Pipes. This is an individual I think most pipe collectors know of for a lot of reasons. Number one is talent. Jody Davis began making pipes more than 20 years ago. His start was as an estate pipe collector. Jody's day job as a guitarist in a touring band had him in new cities every day. He passed the time by visiting antique malls and pipe shops where he would search for rare and interesting pipes in Tobacciana to buy and refurbish for himself. His interest in learning and tinkering led to him to try his hand at making his own pipes. After reaching out to and studying with J.T. Cook, who taught Jody proper tooling, Jody launched his Princeton Pipes brand, later simplified to his J. Davis nomenclature. Later, Jody studied with his mentors and heroes Lars Iversen and Jes Kunovitz in Denmark. Few pipe makers have had the impact on the community of pipe makers and the hobby of pipe collecting that Jody's had. He's collaborated with fellow pipe makers many times, in addition to actively teaching and mentoring several of the pipe makers who are now leading the American industry. In addition to being a foundational teacher for Jeff Brachik and Pete Prevost, he also was a key instructor for the lauded repairman Ronnie B. Today he continues to innovate with new shapes, new materials, even as he plays a significant role as a core contributor to the local Nashville and nationally known American pipe making community. And ladies and gentlemen, nobody works harder at his job and has been more successful than our next Master of Pipes, Mr. Jody Davis.
Okay. I didn't feel like it would be appropriate for me to really prepare a speech. I felt like it would be better if it just came from my heart. I did write some names because I will forget everything as soon as I get nervous. But I would have to say that when Dave Shane gave me the call and he said that I was given the Master of Pipes award, I was like, did you dial the right number? I'm not really, sure. You know, I've been a touring musician for so long that the last time I was able to attend the Chicago Pipe Show was 17 years ago. Because it falls right in the kind of the end of the touring season, and we always had shows, and I was never able to make it. And but I had about 5 good years, and just really always loved it. It was so much fun. It was just one of the most exciting things of the year to get to do. And so anyway, to go back to the beginning, I would have to say really quickly, the first person I would like to thank would be my a choir director from high school who really influenced my music career, and he also happened to be a pipe smoker, so he sort of planted that seed of smoking a pipe. And then one day in the mid-90s, I decided I would start smoking a pipe again. Went went to Uptown Smoke Shop in Nashville, Tennessee, which was like, that was the coolest place, and bought a pipe from a guy named Keith Moore, which some of you guys would remember. And we became kind of fast friends. And so when I started touring and collecting, you mentioned I'd collected a lot of estate pipes. I had hundreds of them. And, I'd always go there and hang out. And started, got that bug to try to make a pipe, just like most pipe makers, you buy a kit or whatever. And I started buying kits, and I would take them to him. And he was the main pipe buyer for Uptown, so he had the kind of exclusive deals with Jez Konovich and Lars Everson and S. Bang, Piranolf. And after a while, he's like, man, I think these are pretty good. I really think we need to hook you up with some of these Danish masters and see if you can get some better materials and things like that. So I was very fortunate to spend some time with them. This is pre-internet, so literally got to buy briar and ebonite from Jez Konovich. That's where I got all my briar for years. And so they were just so incredibly gracious, and Lars, they had invited me to Denmark. And I guess before that, I would have to say that J.T. Cook we became friends at a show in Nashville, and he just looked at my stuff and he's like, I really need to teach you the right tool for the job. So he's like, you're doing everything but chewing these things out of the wood. So shortly, a month later, I flew up to Vermont and spent time with him, and that changed the whole trajectory of everything. And then later, being able to spend time with Lars and Jez I'm glad Nana's here, because I really would like to say I don't know if I ever really got to express the amount of gratitude to Lars for what he did for me, and just to add to the good stories of the Chicago Pipe Show, one of my favorite moments. I was standing with a guy named Philip Thompson, who I'd made a pipe for. And he was smoking, and it was this little Dublin, like oval shank, and had like a mock ferrule with mammoth ivory, and it was perfect straight grain. It was like a really cool pipe, right? And he's smoking it, and Lars comes in, and like he does, and he's looking, and he says, "Now that's a nice pipe." And so he gave me this compliment without even knowing who he was giving it to, and so he was like, this guy right here made it, and so it was like, all right, it's like the best thing ever, the best thing you could be told by such a master of pipe making. But oh my gosh, I forget that I'm blind sometimes, and so yeah, some of the people that I really, besides Keith and the whole Uptown's crew back then, Chuck Stanion and Dayton Matlick were very good to me and put me in their magazine. They allowed me to make be the second person after J.T. Cook to do the Pipe of the Year for P&T magazine, so that was a really amazing thing. And then I would have to talk about the other American pipe makers that have been very good to me and very gracious to me, and obviously Jeff Grasick and Pete Prevost, guys that I got to spend time in their formative period when they were, pretty young, starting out, and I'm just so incredibly proud of what they've become, and they got the Masters of Pipes before I did, so that's awesome, and Todd Johnson, another one. We were very close. We kind of come up together at the same time and helped each other out. And that's another thing that is really amazing about the pipe making community. You literally have a group of guys who are competing for the same dollars, and everybody pulls for everybody else. And it's changed a lot. In the early days, there were a lot of very guarded secrets, but now it's become very, very open. Everybody wants the other guy to do well, and that's a beautiful thing. And so that leads me into smoking pipes, Shane, and Sykes. Actually, I don't know if he remembers this, but I met Sykes when he was working at Elliston Smoke Shop. I think he was in college before he was selling pipes online. I think he might have started by then, but I don't know. But I remember meeting him there, and then next thing you know, he's got the biggest pipe selling business in the world. So that's pretty awesome. Golly, who else would I? Yeah, and even the old guys back in the day. Jeff Oliver was a good friend back in the early Smoking Pipes days, and golly. I guess to wrap it up, I've gone on too long anyway. I just really want to say that the community is really amazing, and you have to make an impression on a lot of very diverse and very beautiful individuals to be able to be given this award, and that is what makes it mean something, and it's very special, and I thank you guys very much. Oh, I gotta thank this guy too.
His fault my wife's not here this weekend. I'll tell anybody want to hear that later, meet me in the tent, but it's his fault. Yeah. Hang out over there. All right. I want to finish this up on a similar tone because 4.5 years ago, Dave and I took over Las Vegas. I want to thank the Chicago International Pipe Show for letting me steal the word international for Las Vegas. We took it over 4 years ago because, let's be honest, things were a little shaky here in Chicago, and I was like, we gotta have a show. But just like all the pipe makers have said, you help each other, you support each other, you build each other up. A rising tide, raises all boats. And this crew of this Chicago Pipe Club and this planning committee has raised the pipe show community in the United States to a whole new level. So thank you very much to you guys for what you're doing here. Keep it up. This is the premier pipe show in the United States. There's a lot in the world. Universe. Linwood's universe is below the Mason-Dixon line. But thank you very much for what you're doing. Just a reminder, Doctors and Masters, 10 o'clock in the back, the event portion of the event space in the smoking tent. Those of you that are new will get your super special spankings and welcome. We all have to be there, and as most of us doctors are of a certain age, I will wrap this up quickly so that we can all stop at the restroom before we get out there and get ourselves going. Thank you very much. I'll finish it off with this. Until next time.
Thank you.
We had a good time.